Hello and welcome back to the channel for another episode of The Bad Batch. We are on Season 3, Episode 5. The episode just dropped this morning and I'm semi-interested in what we're going to see this episode. I've not looked in any of the promotional material for it, mainly just because I haven't seen it, not because I've avoided it deliberately. However, given where we left off last episode with Omega, Crosshair, Tech... not Tech, he's dead. With Omega, Crosshair, Hunter, and Wrecker reuniting, I'm very excited to see where exactly this is going to go, and how it's really going to play out, because, again, there's quite a complex history between the four of them, to say the least. Well, mainly the three of them and Crosshair. But anyway, nonetheless, let's get into this episode, because I've got a feeling it could be an interesting one. I wonder who could be returning. It's not at all slightly obvious. But there you go. I'm wondering if he might try and... I don't know if run away is the correct term, but distance himself maybe, because he doesn't think he's going to fit in. Oh, we're back here! To be fair, I can't lie, I always thought this was a really interestingly and well-designed, like, location. As they go. Obviously, it's Star Wars. You always get amazingly designed locations in Star Wars, but this, in particular, did seem to be really good design. I do have the strongest feeling that that dog might not last the whole season.
Liana found you, then.
Ugh.
Their ability to do so is uncanny.
I know what you're doing, Crosshair. You can't keep hiding.
And knowing when you've got eyes on you.
I'm not the best sniper in the world in video games, but I would have thought that steadying
They
his
don't
scope
trust me.
or
Give it time.
steadying his barrel
But
would
you
help
will have to
aim,
talk to them.
maybe than holding it freely. I don't know. Again, Cross has a much better sniper than me. I'm just saying.
It's Echo!
Oh, okay. Woo! Echo.
calculated your
I was
shooting
going,
accuracy.
is that an
Your
Imperial
target
ship?
success rate today was at 53%.
No, luckily.
Well below your average.
So is this going to be Echo and Rex, or just Echo? That's my question. Seemingly just Echo. And it's kind of sad that we're waiting until episode 5 to reunite with Echo.
What? No hug for me.
I mean, of all the places to
Zoe
have a
was
reunion
closed
and
for
live,
testing. Taking samples.
it's not a bad one.
Most were held in the detention wing, but I never saw what was in the vault. If we can get it online,
I feel
we
like
should
the
be able to
second you
pull
get
more
that thing
intel on
online, it's going to be
Tantalus.
trackable. That's going to be the problem.
Schematics, entry points, maybe even the coordinates of the base itself.
Is this going to be the place
Crosshair,
where...
Echo and I will go to this remote
I feel like this is the place where he
Back
shot
down,
that
Omega.
in
You stay here.
Imperial. Although I don't
We're
know
finally
if
together and you
that's
want
the
to split
correct...
us up?
We just got
location.
you back. I don't know if it'll still fit still, but here.
No way.
My old armor.
Yeah. It never felt right to get rid of it.
That's amazing. I to be honest, I didn't ever think we'd get Crosshair in his old gear, but that is pretty cool. Yep, no, that certainty has grown to 99% certain that this is the same planet.
Hey, it does fit.
Ho ho! And to be fair, it looks like it looks the least rugged, like, armor of all of them, because it's the least worn.
You said this outpost was remote. Let's crack into the
The
data
two of them
pad
just
and
need
get
to have
out
a
of here.
sit-down conversation, honestly. Omega might have had, like, something going for her with that suggestion.
I said talk to him.
It's the start of a long road for Crosshair. Well, I say start. The start of the long road was probably season 2, but he's making good progress. And seeing him in his old armor is really cool. And also, even though he is back in, like, his kind of uniform that he wears with the Bad Batch, he still looks like the odd one. He still doesn't look like he fits in due to kind of just the ruggedness of everything else. My headcanon here is that he has a stock of toothpicks, like, in his armor. Like, he's got, like, a compartment in his arm. He just pulls out toothpicks.
Are you going to be my shadow everywhere? She went through what she did because you failed.
Ooh.
Because she escaped with my help, not yours.
And that's gonna royally tick him off. It's the first time we've seen Hunter like that angry as well. You know what? This kind of semi reminds me of when I haven't watched Dune, but sandworm. Or at least what I imagine the sandworms would be like.
You're both from the tower.
Having these
Then let's
guys
get to
both
it.
butt
We'll
heads
test this
is
place apart.
incredibly interesting. I've just got the idea of Rako just being just a dog now. A really excitable dog just digging in the
Good.
ground.
Now prime the breaker.
Now, is the thing gonna just gobble up Hunter while he's in the tunnel? That's the question. And it looks like the answer will probably be maybe, because it does sound like it's down there. Oh, it's gonna be a close one. Oh. I mean, talk about cutting it fine, man. That is slightly too fine for my liking. I'm interested to know why it turns away at that noise, if it's painful or what. Interesting. Whew. I mean, I guess they didn't really need to speak. They just kind of nod, and that's it. That's kind of just blokes in a nutshell for you.
See? They always work it out. And I don't even see any blood this time. That's progress.
This time, I'm interested to hear what happened last time.
How we recovered will help you in Rex.
We still don't know the coordinates of Tantus.
Surely, I guess they
Out of there.
they didn't deliberately stop off at that planet in the 4th episode. They kind of just unintentionally ended up there, so I guess it's a little bit different. But I was going to say, could they not kind of use the hyperspace trajectory? Or I guess that's not exactly the same, because hyperspace and real space aren't the same thing. I think he's going to tell Hunter what happened now. I think.
All we can do is keep trying to be better. And who knows?
Damn straight.
There just might be hope for us yet.
Shame we didn't get to see Rex this episode, though. But, I mean, I'm glad they went back there. Okay, well, that was a solid episode. I wouldn't say that was anything revolutionary, but I think it was a very much needed episode to kind of bridge the gap between the rest of the Bad Batch and Crosshair. I quite like what they did in terms of focusing on just Hunter and Crosshair rather than having Crosshair try and amend everything with Wrecker and Echo as well. I think that would have made it a little bit too... I want to say overcomplicated, but I think it'd be a bit more difficult to kind of illustrate that kind of bridge mending. But I think focusing in on Hunter and Crosshair really helped kind of illustrate that reconnection between the two of them. Between Crosshair and the Bad Batch. I really like what they did with going back to this planet. Now, the name of this planet does escape me for the time being. However, I think it was a very good idea to revisit there because it really does illustrate why Crosshair did leave the Empire and why he wants to remain loyal to his brothers. I think that's quite a powerful thing within itself. So that was really good to see. Other than that, not many kind of notes and takeaways for this episode, as it was quite I don't want to say lackluster, but it was quite laid back, which, again, given how the Bad Batch has been so far this season, I'm more than happy to have a laid back episode. It's been quite full on since the get-go, and we have had some amazing content so far, so I have no doubt that we will have some incredible content to continue forward with. The only other kind of thing of note is it does seem that we're building up to this kind of big battle to free the clones that are trapped on Tantus. The question is, what's really going to happen there? Because we know this Project Necromancer, right? And we've seen this black armored stormtrooper within Tantus, only for like a couple of shots within the 3rd episode, I want to say. Although interesting, that soldier wasn't introduced to Palpatine, so I would have thought that if that was directly related to Project Necromancer, Palpatine would have met that soldier. But I think Necromancer is this cloning operation that Palpatine's running, and maybe that black armored clone is something separate, which leads me to maybe think it's like a brainwashed tech or something like that. I don't know. A lot of people have that theory. Whether or not that is the case, who knows? Maybe they will just leave tech as is, but it's Star Wars, so anything is possible. But I think given that we don't really see much of Hemlock in the future of Star Wars, and Moff Gideon is looking into cloning post the defeat of the Emperor, I think it's incredibly likely that Hemlock could meet the end, meet his fate by the end of the season, as the operations on Tantis are maybe destroyed, and maybe Imri takes the place of Hemlock, something along the lines, and continues the research for Palpatine, or whether or not Hemlock's research actually becomes complete and Palpatine is able to get his hands on it before Tantis is kind of destroyed by the remaining clone army. But yeah, there's a lot of places this season can go. I think so far as a season overall, this has been the best so far of the Bad Batch. We definitely had a very strong opening 3 episodes, and that did translate onto episode 4. And I think with episode 5, it was good. It was very much needed. However, I do hope that this doesn't distract too much from continuing the plot established in the first 3. But anyway, that will be it for today's reaction and review, I guess. Thank you all very, very much for watching. If you would consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I'll be dropping these every week whilst an episode of Bad Batch is still releasing. And I do drop other content as well. I've done the reactions for Doctor Who, and also will be getting back to uploading those for Game of Thrones, as I think we're on Season 4, Episode 9. And I just need to get back to getting them ready regularly, which hopefully will be soon. But yeah, please drop a like, subscribe, comment if you've got any theories, please do let me know. And if you've got any negative feedback on the video, I'd love to be able to improve and make better content for everyone. But that will be all for this video. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.